Good day, friends, and welcome to our pre-full moon garden visualization in Libra. It's such a privilege to meditate with you. So let's continue to build our healing garden as a group. At some point within the 12 hours prior to each full moon, meeting DK there and turning our garden into a shrine of consecration, and intending to offer our garden as a chalice for the love of hierarchy to be poured in selfless service to humanity. Let's gather in our garden. But before we do, let us align with our own soul. Start with a point of soul focus, raising your consciousness into the head, as high in the head as you can. Then carry that consciousness upward through the astral body, then to the mental body, then to the soul. And visualize a lotus, fully open, scintillating with light, and pulsating like a living heart, as a symbol of your soul body. And now place yourself right in the center of your lotus, realizing that you, the personality, and you, the soul, are one in consciousness. And from that high vantage point, assume the attitude of the observer. Observe your personality below, and visualize your etheric body, seeing energy flowing freely up and down the etheric spine. And now consciously throw soul energy down into the center at the base of the spine, using indigo blue light, the color of the ray of love. And now in your creative imagination, raise it slowly via the 5 centers up the etheric spine, then slowly to the ajna and the crown, and up into the soul body. And say the soul mantra with conviction, knowing who you really are. I am the soul. I am light divine. I am will. I am love. I am fixed design. And sound 1 Om as if you were the soul in full expression. And now let's enter our garden. We stroll through arches of climbing roses, clusters of flowers in abundance overhead, and choose the colors that you'd like. And as you walk under the archway of roses, Let the clusters of roses gently caress your face, as if welcoming you to this unique space. Breathe in the delicate aroma of the colorful roses percolating through the air. Small, lovingly trimmed emerald green bushes line the stony pathway. So hear the crunch of the stones under your steps. Along an embankment at the end of the archway, there are rows and rows of flowers, flowers of different hues and harmonizing tones of red, yellow, pink, orange, and magenta. And as we create these rows, we include our favorite flowers. The blooms shed fresh petals on the path, creating a soft carpet for us to walk on, releasing their individual fragrances as we step on them. On the opposite side of the embankment, we see right in the middle of our space of harmony a lighthouse, standing tall and strong, shining beams of light in all directions as a symbol of our united group soul. And as we assemble there quietly, we hear a choir of birds fill the space with their clear, melodious notes, welcoming us. A chorus of angelic voices sings a soft tune, accompanied by the sound of harps, divas gently strumming the chords. Sitting still around the lighthouse, we feel the gentle warmth of the rays of the sun. Feel the rays and their warmth on our faces, on our whole body. Warming us up from the inside. In the background, the breeze softly swishing through the tall eucalyptus trees chants a melodic lullaby. These majestic trees cast their protective shadows on the grass as sunlight peeps through this peaceful garden. Around the lighthouse, we see a large quiet pool of crystal clear waters. From the pool, flowing from the pool, we see rivulets as we hear the gentle trickle of water. We also see 3 wider streams of golden water flowing steadily, and across them are curved wooden bridges. In one area of the pool float lotuses of all colors in all stages of bloom. Some are in full bloom, revealing their gorgeous jewel, while others are just budding and barely showing their true color, but all reflecting their light in the healing waters. Just beyond the pool, a hidden path leads us to a cozy and serene corner. A few chairs or a bench and a small fountain containing supercharged, vitalizing water, perfumed by a single floating lotus, create the perfect spot for an informal sharing of one's difficulties or words of wisdom. Inhale the perfume of the flowers, imbuing and permeating the air, as everything in this garden quivers with livingness, and you can invite people that you'd love to have healing. Invite them in that corner. In the distance, we hear the soothing sound of water, and we follow it. We come to a tranquil pool where cascading water gently hugs rocks as it joyfully spills in a blue pool below, while bubbles of spray ricochet spiritedly in the air. Lush ferns alongside the rocks, draping in the water, enhance the serenity of the place, while the fiery brilliance of the orange and red leaves of surrounding trees brings warmth and invigorating energy to the area. In our mind's eye, we follow a pathway which leads us to flower beds. They are a riot of spring color, reds and creams and yellows and pinks of such vibrancy, winding their way like a gentle living stream among the trees. A row of violet flowers on either side of the meandering bed happily follows the path of the flowers as they release their subtle perfume. Butterflies flutter through the air with their iridescent wings, attracted by the silent serenade of the blooms. They are like the flowers of the air. Their delicate and fragile wings are like floating petals, catching the light and twinkling like diamonds in the air. Buzzing bees surf the open spaces from flower to flower, seeking pollen, which looks like scintillating, bright golden pixie dust. Nearby, The soft and gentle babble of the sound of fountains reaches our ear. Lush green grass lines a gentle stream like a soft, velvety carpet. The air is full of the sweet fragrance of the flowers in full bloom, adorning the fringes of the streams. In this peaceful garden, quivering with life. This garden that we've just created is our garden, our group garden. But let's take a moment to add a little corner which has our individual touch. Add the colors, the unique features and flora of your own country that you'd like to blossom in this tranquil and serene space. Let's invite also the presence and the cooperation of the healing devas working under the Christ. Let's visualize them in our garden, enlivening it with their magnetism. Sitting quiescent, our hearts beating as one. Let's link up with each other as we say the healer's mantra aloud, together. With purity of motive, inspired by a loving heart, we offer ourselves for this work of healing. This offer we make as a group and to the ones we seek to heal. With our eyes closed, but we open our inner eyes, endeavoring to hold our mind unwaveringly in the group light. We know that Master DK too stands steady as he promised, pouring out upon us his loving strength and endeavoring to lift us up into a higher state of consciousness. So we are now receptive to Master DK's radiant energy. The light of the lighthouse begins to shine brighter and brighter, intensifying gradually. And soon this light begins to take shape, and a definite figure appears. And in our imagination, it is that of Master DK. from the lighthouse, visualize calm waves of golden light poured by DK, streaming through our group, irradiating the garden around us, imbuing it with the bliss and peace of Libra. Feel stillness descend. And immerse the space and our group. And in the silence, let Master DK's words quench our thirst for loving understanding. Libra is a sign of balance, says Master DK, of careful weighing of values and of achieving the right equilibrium between the pairs of opposites. The emergence of the sense of self-direction and equilibrium. It is the point of equilibrium between soul and form. It signifies the emergence of free choice. It is consciousness of duality and the effort to balance the two. So Libra is the crisis of balance. And to the average man with no developed spiritual consciousness, the word goes forth again and again throughout the eons. And the word said, let choice be made. Today, the balance of the scale is, however, upon the astral plane, and the desires of men are predominantly in a position of casting the deciding factor, where the weight of mass desire will turn them either up towards spiritual decision or down towards material and selfish ends. Libra represents the narrow, razor-edged path between the pairs of opposites. And it runs between the pairs of opposites, which, if it is to be safely trodden, requires the development of a sense of values and the power to utilize rightly the balancing, analytical faculty of the mind. The sign Libra is sometimes called the place of judgment, for it is here that the decision is made. It really marks the distinction between the ordinary wheel of life and the reversed wheel. So in our creative imagination, let's choose a spot in our garden and let's create a distinctive feature in our garden which expresses the unique qualities of Libra: stillness, balance, and poise. May those who visit our garden be inspired to make wise choices in their life. Libra as the hub of the wheel. The constellation Libra occupies a unique space in the great wheel, for it is the energy coming from this constellation which controls what we might call the hub of the wheel. Libra, the point of balance, where usually the moment for the reversal of the wheel takes place. There, the man has to decide whether to proceed as usual and according to custom, or reversing the wheel to pass through the burning ground to liberation under the impress of its ruler, Uranus. Libra therefore controls the moment of reversal of the wheel in the life of every aspirant. For there comes a moment in the cycle of lives wherein a point of balance is reached and a relative equilibrium is attained. And over this event, Libra presides. Libra, the interlude of balance as a prelude to a more effective and sensitive progress upon the path. And for the disciple, Libra marks an interlude or a notable point of balance between soul and personality before the strenuous testing and trial of Scorpio. Libra is the sign in which the first real vision of the path appears and of the goal towards which the disciple must ultimately direct his steps. And the keynote of Libra for the disciple, therefore, is I choose the way which leads between the two great lines of force. I choose the way which leads between the two great lines of force. Let's ponder on this word coming from the soul. From the standpoint of our theme, which is the evolution of consciousness, it must never be forgotten, DK says, that the aim is to bring the solar angel, the Son of Mind, into the seat of power. This task is preeminently entrusted to the three great lives which function through Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Under the influence of Venus, ruler of the air sign Libra, the soul as the higher mind, from its high vantage point, objective and detached, stands at the very still point of the fulcrum, balancing material personal desire and intelligent spiritual love for choice to be made. It steadily increases its power and control, and producing the balancing of the pairs of opposites through the illumination which it brings to the lower mind. Libra admits the soul into the world center, which we call Shambhala, for it is the polar opposite of Aries, which is the place of beginnings. Libra demonstrates the perfect balance of spirit and matter, which first came together in Aries. And Libra governs the legal profession and holds the balances between so-called right and wrong, between negative and positive. Cosmically, Libra, being one of the four arms of the cardinal cross, means the working out of the plan under spiritual and natural law, which is evolutionary in expression. This is the goal of evolution and its expression, and is steadily revealing the nature of God. For the laws under this solar system of ours is governed are expressions of God's quality and character. This is legislation, or Libra in activity. The three Buddhas of activity in the council chamber of Shambhala are close to Sanat Kumara and came with him when he decided to take incarnation through the medium of our planet Earth. They do not belong to this solar system at all. They act as advisors to Sanat Kumara, where his initial purpose is concerned. Their task is to see that the will of God holds sway. That is the will of the solar logos. They function as linking intermediaries between the logos of our solar system and the informing life of the constellation Libra. They relate these two great centers of energy to our planetary logos. Under Libra, a Shambhalic sign, and peace, a Shambhalic quality, we are all learning to understand and obey higher laws, the laws of the soul and the laws of the solar system. If we wish as a group to do the will of God, we have to understand and render occult obedience to the laws of God. Said our learned mentor, Michael Robbins. So let's ponder on the following words from Master DK, echoing in our peaceful garden. Aries, Libra, the Sun, which are an expression of the Great Bear, bring about that focusing of energy in the life of the disciple, which makes it possible for him to function consciously and with intention upon the path of initiation. Through the potency of Libra, he has succeeded in achieving that point of balance which makes the final escape from the pairs of opposites possible. Libra enables him to balance the material and spiritual law. He now knows, through transcended feeling and from identification with a seen vision, the true meaning of being. Backed by dynamic will, with a power of the soul behind a silent heart, an inner focalization on intent and meaning behind the spoken invocation, a purity of thought, and an active spirit of loving kindness making us a pure channel, let us invoke the Spirit of Peace, an interplanetary agent of great power whose cooperation has been promised if all aspirants and disciples can cooperate to break through the shell of separation and hatred which holds our planet in thrall. Let the forces of light bring illumination to mankind. Let the spirit of peace be spread abroad. May men of goodwill everywhere meet in a spirit of cooperation. May forgiveness on the part of all men be the keynote at this time. Let power attend the efforts of the great ones. And so let it be, and help us to do our part. So now let's make use of our healing garden by visualizing the flow of unconditional love or the will to good emanating from the triangle, the avatar of synthesis at the apex, the spirit of peace, and the Buddha, channeling and powering the Christ at the center. And let's superimpose that triangle on another triangle consisting of the Prince of Peace, Master DK, and our soul group. See this very clearly in your mind as the two triangles superimpose and become one triangle. And now let's superimpose these two blended triangles on our group chakric triangle, vitalizing it. And that triangle is made up of our group crown chakra, our group ajna, and our group alta major. Again, make these blended triangles one triangle, bringing the energy of Shambhala, of hierarchy, right down to the etheric level. So that we can distribute it. And now let's direct that dispelling radiance via our group Ajna, right eye, left eye triangle. And let us place that blended triangle, impressing it over the three planetary centers triangle, London, Geneva, and New York. And from these 3 points, see the dispelling radiance of the will to good, of Libran peace and balance and equilibrium be distributed throughout the whole world. Think big, friends. Don't be afraid to see it on a large scale. Anything is possible in our imagination. if your mind starts to wander, just sound a soft hum. And now say the healer's mantra aloud in a low voice, saying it slowly and deliberately as you believe in the results. May the love of the one soul focused in this group radiate upon you, our fellow men, and permeate every part of your body, healing, soothing, strengthening, and dissipating all that hinders service and good health. And may the peace and stillness of Libra inspire right choice, and may the scales tip in favor of the soul in all those who are touched by our garden. And now, just like Christ does daily, standing under his great pine tree in his garden at sunset, with his hands uplifted in blessing over all those who truly and earnestly seek to aspire, let's picture a great pine tree in our garden. And let's gather around the Christ, Master DK, in the healing ashram, under this great pine tree, saying the great invocation together with the healing ashram, with those who work with us on the other side of the veil. And we will sound a blue Om between each stanza, the great invocation. Put your dynamic will and the power of your soul behind the meaning of that great invocation, friends. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. from the center, which we call the race of men. Let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. And now raise your clasp hands above the head and say, and so let it be, and help us to do our part. And now bring your hands down to the forehead and let them rest on your heart. May the holy ones whose pupils we aspire to become show us the light we seek. Give us the strong aid of their compassion and their wisdom. There is a peace that passeth understanding. It abides in the hearts of those who live in the eternal. There is a power that makes all things new. It lives and moves in those who know the self as one. May that peace brood over us, that power uplift us, till we stand where the one initiator is invoked, till we see his star shine forth. And may the peace and the blessing of the holy ones pour forth over the worlds. And may the light of the garden of our souls be on the inner plane what the sun is to the gardens of the world. A place of stillness, of balance, and of poise, and thus bringing healing and wholeness to many.